out about the threats that Matthew Austin was allegedly making against his ex-girlfriend and her mother. As I told you earlier, a friend of his reported it, and that was very important.
So the initial call came in from friends of the suspect who had spoken with him and had heard these potential threats really voiced out and shown out in a multitude of ways. And so they reported to our officers that their friend had told them that he was frustrated with what the ex-girlfriend had done to him and their status in their relationship, and that he felt like it was negatively impacting his life. And so that's when he started to tell them, maybe this is something that I should do. Maybe I should go and purchase these items and then, kill them. Maybe I should take this to the next level. And he kind of detailed that in a multitude of ways to that friend. And then ultimately went to, a local store, purchased gloves and a mask, and the friend saw those things that he had purchased and he had put them on and was showing them to them. And at that point, that's when they contacted local law enforcement. Our officers actually contacted this individual walking down the street in our jurisdiction with those items in a bag. And officers were able to stop him, begin to communicate with him, and ultimately potentially prevent any further action from occurring.
Shetler talked about the importance of people around Matthew Austin calling in to report their concerns.
And they did exactly what they should have done in this scenario. A lot of the individuals involved are somewhat young, so 18 years old. And, those individuals told other people around them that were important to them, and they confirmed, like, hey, this is concerning information. And even if it's false or just something that he has thought about or considered, that you should absolutely report that so law enforcement can investigate that further. And as far as what that looks like for us, a lot of that stuff is still part of that ongoing investigation as officers try to, determine exactly what his intention was at that moment when we did contact him. But there was definitely evidence that he had and considered some of these things leading up to it, just based on what he had discussed with his peers.
It's kind of a good reminder that all of us, when we hear somebody talking like this, should take it seriously. At this point, Matthew Austin is charged with making these threats and with raping the 14-year-old girl. And these are all allegations. He's innocent until proven guilty. I asked how long police believe that Austin had been talking about harming his ex and her mom.
I don't know that we have any indication on that timeline of how long that had been a part of it. He did detail the officers that there had been a lot of stress in his life of recent, and so it appeared to have been something that was more of a recent idea or something that had came to him based on what was occurring in his life in the present moment.
At one point in the body camera footage, Matthew Austin, he sounds kind of inconvenienced, but calm. Sarah Shetler said Matthew Austin offered an explanation for having the gloves and the mask.
So our officers were, very